Hi, Josie. My angel story began one afternoon in the most beautiful ocean park in Victoria, BC. It was a beautiful summer's day, and I was walking on the trail by the ocean. I was so happy. I was on my high flying disc, you should say, the high vibrational state, when I had an impulse to look up. And in the sky, there was a beautiful mystical angels staring right at me. I was in this euphoric state filled with love, excitement, and joyfulness for about 20 minutes afterwards. The angel disappeared within a couple of minutes, and I looked around, and there was no one around but me. It was a very popular dog walking spot as well, and yet it seems like it was just me. It was meant for me. There's no denial. This angel, if you would like me to share this, of course, I love this story. That's why I'm sharing this, Diane. Now, in my experience, angels will appear to you. You begin to see angels when you are in a really good state. It could be the opposite. You could be in a state of deep sadness, and all of a sudden, the feeling of peacefulness comes and you just feel better. In moments when you feel good, in moments when you are open, when you are excited about something, it's interesting. The high flying disc that you're referring to, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the Esther Higgs vortex. Now, with angels, you will see them clearly for sure. Every single time when you feel good, every single time when you are so deeply connected with your soul and you just want to share your love with the world, angels are there. And let me tell you something. It's not because angels were not there and then all of a sudden you felt good and the angels appeared. That's not how it works. You were able to actually see them because they are in higher vibrational state. They are in a higher frequency. And the moments when you really feel good, what happens? You get on that higher frequency situation. You get on the higher frequency state of being. And in this state, now you're like, okay, I see this. That's angels. You can look at the sky, you can look at the clouds, and you'll see angels just flying by in forms of clouds. You may just look at, just air, and you can see floating lights. And it's because you now in the state of seeing angels. The lower you go, the more constricted you get. The lower you go, the less openness that you have, that you need to see angels. That's why I'm saying always begin with a state of openness, just a simple meditation. And Diane went out for a walk. She went out for a walk and she felt good. And when this happens, without exception, you will always draw to you powerful angels. No question about it. No question about it. No, let me know. Let me know in the chat or in the comments below. When you feel good, I really want to know, when you feel good, do you feel angels more? Think about it. When you feel like you are connected to the essence of who you are, to your divine soul, to the power within you, the creative source of love and well-being, aren't you connected to that divine source? Aren't you more connected with angels? Don't you feel them better? Of course you do. Of course you feel them so much closer. Okay, thank you, Diane. It was a great, great story. Okay, let's see. And okay, let's choose this one. And this one is from Gosha Janusz. Gosha Janusz. If I completely mispronounced that, my apologies. Okay, so she writes, I used to walk with my little dog always at the same time in the same direction. So it was our daily routine. He was very obedient and always waited for me before crossing the street. One day, when we were approaching the stairs that led to a small one-way street among the blocks of flats, I heard or felt somewhere in my head, maybe there is another way today. And it seemed like quite strange to me because there was no traffic at the time, only just one single car would go slowly towards the building. Nevertheless, I stopped. Good. Oh, I stopped and I said to my dog, maybe another way today. My dog looked at me as though he was trying to ask me, really? And then a few seconds later, a car rushed in the other direction, and I suddenly realized that if I hadn't stopped that time, I would have lost my lovely dog. I still cannot believe how it was possible to get such a message. I'm so grateful that I listened to my inner voice. Thank you, God. Thank you, my wonderful angels. Such a great story. Thank you. Now, when you communicate with angels, consciously or subconsciously, here's the beauty of the story. Angels are always letting us know there are certain intuitive insights that you feel. You felt these intuitive insights today. It doesn't have to be an emergency situation. It doesn't have to be a problem. But sometimes angels are really almost pushing the information upon you. Listen, and this information you will find goes against your logic, because your logic would say, there's no traffic. It's a quiet morning. Why would I take another way? Why am I feeling this way? But Kosha felt that it was angels who were talking to her. It felt different because she even mentioned here, she heard, and then she put her felt. That's exactly what it is. It's our intuition. It's our own intuitive guidance is just checking in with us, saying, okay, are you feeling this? Something is about to happen if you take this route. But then there's this logic again. It's okay. Everything will be fine. Don't pay attention. But some force that protects us, this force was able to step forward. That force was able to protect the dog. That force, angelic force, was able to create a miracle. Of course, that was a miracle. And all of your stories, these are the stories of miracles. There's no other way. But that's how angels really let us know they cannot physically protect us. They cannot just show up. Although, let me digress. Sometimes there were few situations when angels were able to do it. Very rarely it happens. I don't know why and what really makes them step into the physical world and protect. In most cases, angels will do exactly that. They will tell you on the level of intuition, they will tell you, hello, don't go there. Okay, just listen. Not today. And she even mentioned this, not today. And that's what really got her attention. It's not that don't go this way. From now on, this is a better way. It was just not today. That was the key phrase. That was the key word that she picked up. Don't go. Just today. And even the dog was confused. Why would I not go? It's a really nice walk. But what happens when you really listen? This story is a beautiful indicator of someone's listening to angels. This is not a random guidance. And let me tell you that you have within you angelic energy that allows you to feel angels, that allows you to communicate with them on the level of that spirit self. Now, when you receive these intuitive insights, it's okay to doubt them. It's okay because we're all human beings, and every time intuition comes and it doesn't really make sense, it's our nature. We would doubt it. But your awareness allows you to step over the doubt and say, this is strange, I don't know what it is, but I also trust that there is a higher guidance that is there, that is available to me all the time. So I'm listening, I'm paying attention. Today, I am not taking this route. And boom, a miracle happened. And then you can only look back and see, wow, that was amazing. So in your own life, you will receive these guidance, this kind of guidance, and your job is to step over the doubts and say, okay, I trust this guidance. I don't know if it's real or not, but I trust this guidance. And then you just go ahead. Every time there's this intuition speaking to you, angels are using your intuitive abilities to send you these telepathic messages. Thank you so much. Gosha, thank you. I loved your story. And I hope the dog is good and everything is great. Okay, next one. The next story is from, from Zora. I will just say your first name. I would not be attempting to pronounce your last names because you'll be like, oh, rolling your eyes, Josie. Okay. Hi, Josie. Thank you for sharing this beautiful story. I believe that I have had an encounter with an angels on the train. The story went like this. I was sitting in the train with a couple of friends, and we were not talking about anything or so. Now, you must know I suffered from depression for many years, and I was feeling miserable, although we were returning home from a beach party, which was fun. So, just before we entered the next train station, this guy showed up from behind me, and then he laid his hand on my shoulder and he said, everything is going to be all right. You will be just fine. I didn't get a chance to thank this person because he was just suddenly disappeared. He came and then he vanished. Poof! I didn't see him anymore. Not even when I looked outside the window. Then I asked my friends if they saw this man and they told me they did not see him. So suddenly today I was still wondering, was this man my guardian angel or something else that happened? So I love this story, Zora. And how many of you, now as I'm reading this, how many of you can relate to this? How many of you have had situations when you will be in your own world, but you're not yourself, and all of a sudden this glimpse, it's almost like you fall asleep, and then this sleep that feels real, there's this person shows up on your path, and this person lays put his hand on my shoulder. Like, how strange is that? But in these moments, it's almost like instant awakening. You are in your dream, but you are awake, and now you see this whole reality differently. You all of a sudden you see, okay, this was an angelic encounter. My guardian angel showed up. No one else could see him but me. Now, was I just hallucinating? Or was this man, I imagined this man because I was not myself today, I didn't feel well? Or was it really, is it a possibility that perhaps angels really were really there with me? So what I know for sure, when you go through time period of your life when you feel challenged, when things just not working, and perhaps you go through the dark moments of your life, in these moments, exactly like the story of the footprints on the sand, remember when someone asked, why there's just one set of footprints on the sand? Jesus, you walked with me all this time, or God, you walked with me for this entire time. I can see the two sets of footprints. But look here, this is the part of my life when I really struggled and I was in so much pain, and there's only one set of footprints on the sand. Why did you leave me? And of course, God replied, I didn't leave you. It was the time when I was carrying you in my arms. So let me remind you that these moments when you feel like it's dark and hope is dim and you don't know. You're dealing with, it's a deep and it's emotional and it's dark. Remember, in these moments, you were surrounded by thousands of angels who are with you, who are holding that light for you. You cannot see that light, but they're the light holders for you. And in moments when you say yes, in moments when you say, okay, I'm ready to receive help, they will lift you up. They will put you in this state where you feel peaceful again. And you will begin to see that there's hope. There is so much more to my life that I can even imagine. So these are real stories in our lives. So many times in my life, when my dad passed away, I was in a dark place. I was struggling, and it was not even physical pain. It was like that's the dark night of the soul, when you're just like, what is this feeling of nothing else is happening. But in these moments, looking back, I can tell you that angels were there and they were present. They were always cheering me on and then reminding me of the beauty of life. They were sending me helpful people. So I know this for sure. Remember that you have these powerful beings keeping you strong. In moments when you feel lost, just take a breath, release, and then call upon angels and saying, you're here, you're holding this light for me. So help me, lift me up. I'm ready to get better. I'm ready to get better. Angels cannot break through your decisions and your will. Whatever you decide, whatever you make possible, they are working with you and they want to help you. So saying, I'm ready. I'm ready to be healed. I'm ready to get better. I'm ready to put my life into in the hands of the higher power so we can work together. And magic and miracles really happens when you live from that state. So I absolutely love your story. Zora, it was an angel for sure. Okay. So one more story. You guys, are you still should we do one more story? One more story? Okay, let's do one more story. One more story. Okay. All right, let's do this one. It's from Total T. Total T, let me know if you are here. This is your story about angels. Total T. When I was 4 years old, I had my tonsils out. The night before the procedure, I was in the hospital with 2 other children. Late that night, we were visited by a man in a French pilot uniform. Interesting. He said that he was there to comfort us before our operation. He had a French accent, and why I even remember him is because he was the kindest person I've ever met. He talked to my teddy bear, and then just his presence did comfort me. Years later, as an adult, my job gave me a chance to talk to the retiring head nurse at the hospital. That was at the time of my tonsillectomy. I asked her, who was that man? And was this visit a regular occurrence in the children's ward? And she told me that it was not possible. Never had the French Air Force visited the hospital, and if they did, they would have not been allowed in after visiting hours. It took a while and a few heart-expanding realizations to accept the real possibilities that this man was otherworldly. So, such a great story. Teddy bear, French pilot uniform. It just gives me interesting pictures. I can see someone's presence, and this presence is just someone who comes out of the kindness of the heart, someone who is showing up in moments when children are going to have an operation, so difficult situation. And certainly you would imagine, how can an older gentleman, or like a grown up, showing up on children's ward, a surgical ward where children are. Now, this is bizarre. But remember, could be someone's openness enough to see spirits. Remember, children have an ability to see spirits. They're open to everything, and they have imaginary friends. They have, in their imagination, angels come through. And what angels told me, and this has really touched my heart, they said that in moments, the human beings are so dependent on love and acceptance like no one else. There's no other creature who is dependent on human connection as us, human beings. And these moments in our childhood, early childhood, we crave, we need, we look for that deeper connection from our parents, from the world around us. So human beings need to be held as children. They need to be loved and kissed and touched. They need to grow up with this awareness that in a human world, they are surrounded by love. And that's when human beings grow up to be kinder, more loving, more supportive individuals. But it's not everybody else's reality. Quite the contrary, many human beings have not received the dose of love and connection, say, from their parents, from their loved ones. They were either ignored as children, they were just left to their own devices, they were pretty much on their own. They did not receive that dose of compassion and love and connection. So, what happens when a human being does not receive that? It's very likely that he or she will grow up and feel very disconnected, not having the openness to accept life or human beings in general, not being able to love and connect to others on the level of feelings. These people are likely to grow up in a cruel environment, and they're likely to be cruel. They're likely to ignore their own needs for love. They may hurt other people, and this would be a messy kind of world. So, what angels do for children, for young children, angels will play with them, because angels are there for us, and children can see angels. Children can see angels. Babies can see angels when they open their eyes, and they feel these angelic beings who are very giving. These angels are sharing love with us as children. They're giving us that dose of love, especially if we have not received that loving energy from our parents. Angels are there because they understand that without this loving presence, human beings will later in life suffer. And not just suffer themselves, but also cause other people to suffer. So, you know that when you were a child, sometimes when memories shows up from your childhood, it's something that is so familiar, something that is so familiar. You may feel like, I've been here before. This is strange. This is my first time visiting this place, but somehow I feel I was here before. It's kind of like a deja vu experience. And then all of a sudden you're like, I feel like it was a dream or some kind of even supernatural experience when I was here with angels, or angels took me here when I was a child. Now, these moments happen all the time. And it's because what angels do for us, what role they play in our lives, is beyond anything that we can even understand. or thank them enough. And that's why I'm so passionate to talk to you guys about angels, because I know, and every time they tell me their stories or I hear, I feel like I want to, like my heart opens up, and I feel like I feel so emotional, and I appreciate angels. And every single day, I wake up and I send gratitude to the universe, and I send gratitude to angels, because without angels who are working behind the scenes, we would have what we have now in our world in a much, much more critical state. We're still hanging on, and with angels we can do even better. And it's about really putting ourselves together, working and collaborating with a higher power, and that's when miracles happen. Now, I can tell you miracle stories every day for years and years because it's amazing. So, and I know that the more you resonate with these messages, you would not even be here. You would not even listen to me at all. You'll be like, who's that blonde lady? But I know you're here because in your heart, you can resonate with what I'm speaking about on this channel. To anyone in my life, I know that you can feel the validity, the truth of angelic presence in our lives. All right, my beautiful angels, I think that would be okay for today. Now, in the comments below, let me know, write down even more stories. I'll be doing more of these live sessions and sharing these stories with you, and then hope so inspire you. And this is your first time, by the way, share these messages, and also make sure to subscribe and hit the notification button. So I'm making these videos for you every single day, and angels are guiding us on our journey into amazing future. Be well, be blessed. I'll chat with you in the next video.